I thought it was about time we went through and did our little Q&A video that we were talking about to kind of celebrate 7,000 subscribers, which is friggin' awesome to me. I just wanted to start this out by thanking each and every one of you that subscribes to the channel. It definitely helps a lot. You know, I love interacting with you guys and gals, and just motivates me to keep making the content and, you know, do little Q&A videos and stuff like this. And it's really interesting to me to kind of see the kind of stuff that you guys are into. So it kind of gives me, you know, video ideas for stuff coming down the pipe. So let's just dive into this Q&A. Guys, notice I've cut a piece of paper here. I had to write down all the questions and put them on a piece of paper just due to technology issues. You know, my laptop is currently not working, the screen is broken, and I do all my filming on my cell phone, which I am filming on right now. So I didn't really have a way to, you know, read them off my phone, so I just wrote them down. So they may not be word for word, but I'll do the absolute best I can for you guys. Anyways, first question from RGN Nighthawk. What's your favorite trail you've hiked so far, and how are you liking dad life? Well, favorite trail hike so far is really tough to answer. I've got a lot of trails that I have absolutely loved for various different reasons. But if I had to say there's one trail I would list as my absolute favorite trail of all time, honestly, probably the Friat Valley. I know a lot of people dislike the 9-kilometer forest walk to start out the trail, but for me, I just absolutely love it. It's got a lot of sentimental value to me, and yeah, that's my favorite trail. As far as how dad life has been, incredible, amazing, exhausting at times, but honestly the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my entire life. I just love hanging out with my little dude and just watching him learn and grow, and you know, just, yeah, it's amazing. Next question from Jerry D. How about that subscriber hike? I know you don't really do it, but I have the gear, I have the motivation, and nowhere to go. Now, a subscriber hike is something that I've kind of thought about, and I don't really know how it would work out. I don't know how it would work out on my end. I'm a pretty introverted guy. I'm not honestly the most social of people, but I do get questions and I do get asked a lot about a potential subscriber hike, and it's something I'm going to try and look into for this upcoming summer. It's not going to be a major, massive, big hike. It will most likely be just a single night trip, just to kind of see how it goes. I'm going to talk to Bo and some of the boys and kind of get some input from them as well. So if that is something that does come to fruition, I'll, you know, make an announcement on the YouTube channel somewhere. So just, you know, keep your eyes peeled for that. Next question from Regrettably Long-Winded. What sorts of commands and habits do you like to teach your trail dogs beyond the obligatory recall, stay, leave it? A big one for me when it came to training Wanda was positioning with her on trail. You know, we hike in the Rockies, we deal with bears and grizzly bears and cougars and all sorts of things, and other people on trail and other dogs. One big one that I use with Wanda all the time is Wanda in front or Wanda behind. She responds single word commands all the time. So just having the ability to kind of position her where I would like her at any given time, you know, be it coming up to a blind corner, I'd much rather have her behind me. And if we're just, you know, tramping down open trail, I don't mind having her up in front of me. But for the most part, Wanda likes to just tuck right in behind me or right in behind whoever is directly in front of me. So that's, for most part, more or less what I do. You know, she knows go to bed. She knows the pet palace or my tent as her bed. So I'm like, okay, Wanda, go to bed. She'll go and curl up there, and that's just kind of what she does. That's pretty much, honestly, all I really use for commands with Wanda. I just like to try and keep it simple. Less for me to remember, less for her to, you know, get confused over, and it's worked out for me so far. Another Wanda question coming from Sarah H. First off, I want to know your favorite backpacking food. For me, my absolute favorite thing to take on trail is my homemade spaghetti. It's just one of those things. I love making my spaghetti at home, and I love taking it with me out on trail. My fiance is not a big fan of as much spice as I like putting in food. So when I make spaghetti for myself to go backpacking, I load it up with all the spices and, you know, hot things that I want. So I get to enjoy my really spicy spaghetti when I'm out there on trail. The Wanda related part of the question, how have you trained Wanda to backpack with you? And she also wants to know my favorite trail in Jasper. Well, I already mentioned my favorite trail in Jasper. That is the Friat Valley. Now, when it came to training Wanda, what I did to train her specifically is for about 8 to 9 months before I actually took her out on a backpacking trip, I took her out to the dog park almost every single day, just me and her, and I worked on getting her to just stay with me and to just ignore other dogs and not run off and, you know, be a puppy and do that playful stuff. Now, if you guys have seen my videos, there are plenty of times where Wanda and I, we have a lot of fun when we're out there on trail. I'll throw a stick for her and she'll go chase a stick and whatnot. But a big one that I worked on with her specifically was getting her to understand that when her backpack's on, it's work time. So once her backpack goes on, like, she is an entirely different dog. A lot of it, I honestly just kind of lucked out with getting a dog that is so ridiculously submissive and very, very easy to train. But that's kind of how I went about it. I would just take her to the dog park, throw her backpack on, and then we would just start working on our commands, like Wanda in front, Wanda wait, and, I'll walk up ahead and, call her when I'm ready, and K Wanda behind, and just, continuously checking to make sure she's behind me. Anytime that, when I was training her, if she decided that she didn't want to follow what I was doing and wanted to just traipse off on her own, then leash came out. And it was just kind of a process between her and myself, just getting to the point where there was enough trust, and, she just listened flawlessly. And like, when I say flawlessly, literally any single time that she doesn't obey me, the leash comes out. And we're at the point now where the leash generally just stays in my bag if we're hiking in a public land area where leashes are not required. Obviously, the national parks up here, leashes are required. I do plan on possibly doing a video on sort of how I trained her coming up, maybe, do a training run at the dog park and just carry the camera along and just kind of show you guys what we kind of worked on, how we worked on it, how we corrected things when I give her treats, all that kind of stuff. If that's something you're interested in seeing, let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Questions like this and videos like this help me with video ideas, like I mentioned before. Next question from my friend Buddy Morris. Would you rather do multiple short trips, like 1 or 2 nights, or a single longer trip, which is about 4 to 6 nights? Honestly, somewhere kind of in the middle. I kind of like to break my summer up between a couple of shorter trips. If you guys have kind of followed the channel for a bit and you kind of see the trip videos that I do, they're not always longer trips. A lot of my trips are just single night trips or 2-night trips, and I'm out hiking for 3 days. With my work schedule now, it's harder for me to kind of get away for, multiple nights at a time without taking time off of work. I work a week and then I'm home for a week. When I'm home for that week, obviously, I've got a lot of family obligations I got to take care of, looking after the little guy and spending time with my fiance and that kind of stuff. So like the 1 to 2 night trips are kind of dominating my backpacking as it is right now. But, I do have plans for, getting a couple, 4 to 6 night backpacking trips mixed in with the season. I do have some vacation time that I will be taking, and hopefully getting some longer trips in there. Next question from WR Rider 2017. If you could do one proper through hike, which would it be? AT, CDT, PCT, GDT, etc. I'm not sure if any of you guys and gals saw the podcast that I recently did with the John freaking Muir pod. I talked a little bit about through hiking on the podcast and kind of gave this one away. But if I was going to do one through hike straight through, for me, it would be the GDT. I've section hiked most of the GDT. I think I'm at like 70% of it now. But yeah, if I was going to do one proper through hike, I would just go and, take the time and do the GDT. It's right in my backyard. It's, a lot of trail that I'm familiar with. And for me, that would kind of be the one that I would want to knock off the bucket list if I had the opportunity to do so. Next question from Sean R. I'm really sorry that you're asking this one, but Sean wants to know if I have any recommendations for a lightweight budget sleep gear for us ground dwellers. Yeah, I honestly just get yourself a hammock. No, I'm kidding. A lightweight budget sleep setup for somebody on the ground. I would probably look at still going with a backpacking quilt. There are a lot of, to me, they're budget options. My budget may be different than somebody else's, but the Hammock Gear Econ line, they're an 800 fill power down, a little bit less expensive. I believe they're a duck down, so they're a little bit less pricey than some of the the 850 and 900 fill power ultralight down quilts out there. It's still going to be a lighter than the sleeping bag. So I would probably go with, like I said, a Hammock Gear Econ quilt. For a sleeping pad, that is kind of tough. It just really depends. I know some people like the Climate pads and they are pretty cheap. Me personally, I've tried the Climate pads and I could not get comfortable on them. But, that would be kind of my suggestion for a budget sleeping pad, is taking a look at one of the Climate pads. Or, my buddy Jesse over at Backcountry Ford really, really likes his Outdoor Vital sleeping pad. I know that's a little bit cheaper as well, so maybe something to look into. For a pillow, if you're sleeping on the ground, you honestly cannot go wrong at all with the Trekology Aleph 2.0. The pad strap is just the game changer with that pillow. I think it's the best pillow for ground sleeping that's out there. Next question from Xenochromocrypt. Hopefully I got that right. Any planned upcoming trips for the summer? I don't have anything really set in place just yet. I've got a couple trips that I'm currently mulling over and kind of trying to figure out. Like I previously mentioned, the possibility of doing kind of a subscriber hike or like an open hike, you know, where I would have a weekend planned out for this is where I'm going to go, and I would just post that up somewhere, probably the community tab of the YouTube page, and just say, hey, if anybody wants to come out, this is where I'm going to be, this is where I'm going to be meeting up, this is where I'm going to be leaving. Yeah, if you want to, you know, touch base and get yourself on that list, let me know. But yeah, I honestly don't have anything kind of locked in place as of yet, just with my work schedule and not really knowing my fiance's work schedule as of yet. You know, she's going to be going back to work in June when her maternity leave is over. So just kind of playing it by ear right now. Next question from Zach AFX. How's dad life, family life been? Dad life and family life have been absolutely amazing. It's been incredible to just, you know, like I said before, to see my little guy learn and grow and just develop. And, you know, he's getting teeth and he's crawling around and climbing all over everything. And he's starting to, you know, take the steps of wanting to be able to stand on his own and probably walking soon, which is terrifying. And yeah, it's been awesome. It's been a blessing to us. It's been a blessing to the family. You know, just seeing those bonds and connections that he makes with everybody in the family and just how happy and loved he is. Yeah, it's been pretty incredible, pretty amazing, and like I rave about all the time, it's the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. Thank you guys and gals for sending the questions in. Like I said, you know, videos like this and getting responses like this from you guys helps out a ton, gives me some video ideas and, you know, just kind of direction for the channel going forward. So yeah, thank you guys and gals. And if you guys are, you know, first-time viewers of the channel and it's kind of the first video you've seen, what I will do is I will link a playlist here of sort of some of my better videos that I've put out on the channel. So maybe check one of those out and you'll see if the channel's for you. As always, guys, I'm Matty. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.